demonstrations has left in the balance the transgender men and women who have volunteered to serve their country. Listen in.
And next, to ensure that we have the most lethal fighting force in the world, we will get transgender ideology the hell out of our military. It's going to be gone. In addition, we will stop our service members from being indoctrinated with radical left ideologies such as critical race theory. We're going to stop it. It's already been stopped. It's already been halted, totally halted.
US President Donald Trump said on Monday that Chinese startup DeepSeek's technology should act as a spur for American companies, and said, in fact, it was good that companies in China have come up with a cheaper, faster method of artificial intelligence. Listen in.
The release of DeepSeek AI from a Chinese company should be a wake-up call for our industries that we need to be laser-focused on competing to win, because we have the greatest scientists in the world. Even Chinese leadership told me that. They said, you have the most brilliant scientists in the world in Seattle and various places. But Silicon Valley, they said, there's nobody like those people. This is very unusual when you hear a DeepSeek, when you hear somebody come up with something. We always have the ideas. We're always first. So I would say that's a positive. That could be very much a positive development. So instead of spending billions and billions, you'll spend less and you'll come up with, hopefully, the same.
India and China have decided to resume the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra. Now, this decision was taken during Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri's Beijing visit. Now, this is where he met Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in Beijing. Now, Wang said India and China should seize the opportunity and meet each other halfway. Now, the countries should meet each other halfway and commit themselves to mutual understanding rather than mutual suspicion. This was the comment made by Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi on Monday as he met Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri in Beijing. Now, Misri was in Beijing on a two-day visit between the 26th and the 27th of February for talks with Chinese officials to improve India-China relations in the second such high-profile visit from India to China in less than 1.5 months. More than 300,000 Palestinians streamed into Gaza's most heavily destroyed area under a fragile ceasefire after Israel opened the north for the first time since the early weeks of the 15-month war with Hamas. Israel, meanwhile, announced that the 8 of the hostages to be freed in the weeks ahead are dead. Massive crowds of Palestinians, some holding babies or pushing wheelchairs even, walked with their belongings along a seaside road in a dramatic reversal of the mass exodus from the north that many had, in fact, feared Israel would make permanent. 2 people were killed and 17 others wounded on Monday in the second day of deadly protests in southern Lebanon. This is according to the health officials. This as residents displaced by the 14-month war between Israel and Hezbollah attempted to return to villages where Israeli troops still remain. The shooting came a day after 24 people were killed and more than 130 were wounded when Israeli troops opened fire on protesters who in fact breached roadblocks set up along the Israel-Lebanon border. Meanwhile, Israel's president is calling on all nations and all people who quote-unquote consider themselves part of the civilized world, in fact, to use their influence to free the remaining hostages held by Hamas in Gaza. Isaac Herzog made the appeal Monday at the UN's annual commemoration of the International Day in memory of the victims of the Holocaust. This year marking the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz concentration camp and the end of World War II. Listen in.
They blur the distinction between good and evil, creating a distorted symmetry between the victim and the murderous monster. I ask you, how is this possible? How is it possible that international institutions, which began as an anti-Nazi alliance, are allowing anti-Semitic genocidal doctrines to flourish uninterrupted in the wake of the largest massacre of Jews since World War II?
Footage has emerged from the city of Goma in eastern Democratic Congo showing armed men said to be M23 rebel soldiers walking through the streets on Monday. Now, the videos were filmed in a neighborhood close to the Goma airport. Residents of the city were fleeing on Monday after the Rwanda-backed rebels claimed to have captured the regional hub from the Congolese forces. This as fighting escalated despite calls from the UN Security Council for the insurgents to indeed withdraw. Dozens of Congolese army soldiers, meanwhile, fled into the Rwandan border town of Rubavu on Monday, where they surrendered their weapons and were processed by Rwandese border officials. And this follows an advance by the Rwanda-backed M23 rebels, who claimed they had captured the eastern city of Goma early Monday. Gunshots rang out across Goma overnight before dozens of rebels in military uniforms marched into the city early Monday morning. The UN described a mass panic among Goma's 2 million residents, and Congo's government said the rebel advance was a quote-unquote declaration of war. At least 67 Indian nationals who were lured into illegal work in Lagos were rescued, and their exit formalities are underway to send them back to India, the Indian embassy in the Southeast Asian country said on Monday. Now, the citizens were rescued from cyber scam centers operating at the Golden Triangle Special Economic Zone, or the GTS-EZ, in Bokyo province of Lao PDR. Two people were fatally shot, and a person believed to be the shooter died at a grocery store in Monday in northern Indiana. Now, 2 police officers were also injured in the shooting late Monday afternoon at Martin's supermarket in Elkhart. The Elkhart Police Department spokesperson, in fact, Jessica McBriar, said during a media briefing, she said 2 people were pronounced dead inside the store and that the 2 officers sustained gunfire and were in a stable condition at the hospital. Listen in.
2 individuals inside the store deceased, unfortunately pronounced deceased. 1 individual believed to be the suspect that was also pronounced deceased, and then 2 of our officers that were injured but are believed to be in stable condition at last information.
The flight carrying migrants deported from the United States arrived in Guatemala on Monday, carrying 63 adult Guatemalan nationals and 1 baby. Once President Donald Trump took office, he issued a series of executive orders to beef up border security and slash migration. He declared a national emergency at the US-Mexico border and even announced plans to send US troops and restrict refugees and asylum. Over the weekend, Trump threatened to levy massive tariffs and imposed visa restrictions on Colombia after the country's leftist president refused to allow a US military plane returning undocumented migrants from the South American nation to land in the country. Now, Colombia ultimately agreed to receive the deportees.
Me dolía toda la mano aquí, me tenían bien aquí, me quitaron bien rojo. Los pies hasta los cuellos me tenían bien amarrados los pies.
Serbia striking university students on Monday launched a 24-hour blockade of a key traffic intersection in the capital Belgrade, stepping up pressure on the populist authorities over a deadly canopy collapse in November that killed 15 people. Serbian farmers on tractors and thousands of citizens joined the blockade that followed weeks of protests demanding accountability for the deadly accident in the northern city of Novi Sad that critics have blamed on rampant government corruption. In fact, a campaign of street demonstrations has posted the biggest challenge in years to the populist government's firm grip on power in Serbia.
Došli smo da podržimo studente, da im pružimo podršku, da istrajemo do kraja I da pobedimo ovaj odvratan režim. To je to.
A fire gutted a settlement in Johannesburg, destroying homes and possessions while leaving hundreds of residents homeless on Monday. Now, residents believe that the fire started when a paraffin stove exploded. Many of the homes are built using plastic materials, wood and corrugated iron, with many shelters only a few inches away from each other. A local councillor for the area said as many as 1,500 shelters have been destroyed. Aided by locals, firefighters were able to bring the fire under control, allowing residents to collect what little of their personal belongings remains. And people rush to buy their favorite foods and goods in Taipei's Nanmen Market on the 28th of January. It's the eve of the coming Lunar New Year of the Snake. Taiwan's Nanmen Market is one of the most popular traditional markets in the capital. In fact, businesses are also closed during the Lunar New Year holidays, urging people to purchase foods and goods for the coming first days of the year. Sausages and sweets are among the most popular because they can be kept for longer. The hand-painted New Year couplets are also crucial to people here. Now, this is because they are changed every year on the eve of the coming year. A full-scale replica of the secret annex where Anne Frank penned her famous diary opened in New York City on Monday as the world marked the International Holocaust Remembrance Day. The exhibit at the Center for Jewish History in Manhattan represents the first time the annex has been completely recreated outside of Amsterdam, where the space is a central part of the Anne Frank House Museum. But while the original annex has been intentionally left empty, the New York reconstruction shows the 5 rooms as they would have looked while the Frank family and others lived in hiding. The spaces are filled with furniture and possessions, including a reconstruction of the writing desk where Frank finally wrote her diary.
When you walk through the annex, you see a very detailed view of how it must have been to be in hiding. The rooms are exactly modeled as they were furnished. That the knowledge is there because Otto Frank, Anne's father, told afterwards, after coming back from Auschwitz, how it has been.
Britain's Prince William and Kate, Princess of Wales, met with Holocaust survivors to mark Holocaust Memorial Day and the 80th anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz-Birkenau, the former Nazi German concentration and extermination camp. The royal couple shook hands and had lengthy conversations with guests. Nazi German forces murdered some 1.1 million people at the concentration camp in southern Poland, which was under German occupation during World War II. It's time we slip into a short break. I'll see you on the other side.
Our first year as a family flew by. And now, I want to make sure he'll be financially protected for all his birthdays to come. That's why I'm calling Smart Insurance.
Hi, how can I help?
Hi, I'd like a quick quote for family life insurance.
OK, you can choose a benefit amount up to £750,000 depending on your age.
That's great.
If you're a UK resident aged 18 to 64, you can apply with just a few health and lifestyle questions. For £250,000 of cover, the price starts at just £14.77 a month.
That's less than I thought. And could help my wife pay off the mortgage.
And with our Smart Family Guarantee, you'll have peace of mind.
That's good to know.
You'll also receive a 100% advance in the event of terminal illness and 10% cashback on your first year's premiums. That's the Smart Cashback. Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Protect the life you've built the smart way. To get a free quote today, call our specialist UK team on 0808 141 5855 or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
Love a good deal? Try free to play Deal or No Deal, only at Tombola. There's up to £1,000 to be won. Get that good deal feeling. Open for fun.
Now I'm retired, I can spend more time with my grandson. I'm proud of him and want to help any way I can. Which reminds me.
Welcome to British Seniors, the UK's #1 rated provider of over 50s life insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote.
No problem. We're proud to offer our seniors lifetime guarantee. With 100% of claims having been paid, we guarantee your premiums will never go up and that you'll speak to one of our specialists in the UK.
Well, that's good to know.
UK residents aged 50 to 80 are guaranteed to be accepted. Depending on your age, your loved ones can get a cash payout up to £10,000.
And that money can help with my funeral costs or even be used as a gift. I'll do it.
Plus, when you sign up, you'll receive a £135 gift card and free 24/7 GP advice and health services.
Thanks, Mum.
for everything.
Be proud to protect your loved ones with British Seniors. To get a free quote today, call our UK team on 0800 158 552 or visit britishseniors.co.uk.
Hi, it's Phoebe from Auto Trader's monthly electric car giveaway, and we're pleased to say that you've won a brand new electric car.
It's a dream, honestly, it really is a dream. Oh my god. Me and my boyfriend talk about the Auto Trader competition every single month. I was waiting for the know you haven't won.
Step into an unforgettable year with a VIP, a very important postcode. Because in People's Postcode Lottery's February draws, players in one winning postcode will each win £12,000 every month for 12 months. Fill your calendar with the things you've always dreamed of. Sign up before midnight on the 31st of January for you and your neighbours' chance to win £12,000 every month for 12 months. Is your door in the draw?
Welcome back. Welcome back. You're watching the World Report on NDTV. The US stock market opened on Monday amidst fears the big US companies that have feasted on the artificial intelligence frenzy are under threat from a competitor in China that can in fact do similar things for much cheaper. An AI company called DeepSeek said it has developed a large language model that can compete with US giants, but at a fraction of the cost. It's a new kind of chatbot that rivals some of the leading models from Google, OpenAI, and Anthropic. DeepSeek seemed to come out of nowhere, barely noticed in tech circles until last week. Asian shares traded mixed Tuesday after Wall Street superstars stumbled as competitor from China threatens to upend the recent artificial intelligence market frenzy. Meanwhile, Japan's benchmark Nikkei 225 lost 0.7% in morning trading to 39,281.22. Among technology companies in Japan, SoftBank Group Corp stock continued its decline, dropping more than 5% in morning trade. The shock to the financial markets came from China, where a company called DeepSeek unveiled a large language model that can compete with US giants, but at potentially a fraction of the cost. Star Indian batter Virat Kohli began training with the Delhi team on Tuesday ahead of his eagerly awaited Ranji Trophy comeback after a 12-year gap. The 36-year-old Kohli will be playing against Railways from the 30th of January, marking his return to the premier domestic event where he last featured way back in 2012 in a game against Uttar Pradesh in Ghaziabad. He arrived at the Arun Jaitley Stadium sharp at 9 a.m. this morning, and after a team huddle and some warm-up exercises, proceeded to play football for about 15 minutes with his teammates. Saudi Arabia club Al Hilal said Monday it has reached an agreement with Brazilian striker Neymar to terminate their contract by mutual consent. Now, the Brazilian, once hailed by the teammates and rivals as one of the world's best footballers, played only 7 matches for the Saudi club and scored only 1 goal. Now this as he spent most of his time since 2023 October sidelined due to an ACL injury. The deal was due to expire after Al Hilal's participation in this year's FIFA Club World Cup, which will be played between the 15th of June and the 13th of July in the US. The club said in a statement published on its social media channels that it expresses its thanks and appreciation to Neymar for what he has provided throughout his career with Al Hilal. Jimmy Butler was back from suspension again, and then Butler got suspended by the Miami Heat again. Butler has been suspended for the 3rd time this month by the Heat, this one starting basically just as the second one was ending. The team said Butler left Monday's morning shootout practice early in advance of game against Orlando Magic, something the team has called intentionally withholding services. The suspension comes without pay and also is indefinite for now, with the team saying it will last at least 5 games.
My joy back from playing basketball, and wherever that may be, we'll find out here pretty soon. But I want to get my joy back. I'm happy here. You know, off the court. But I want to be back to somewhat dominant. I want to hoop, and I want to help this team win. Right now, I'm not doing that.
Ferrari have shown off their race suits for the 2025 Formula One season with the new teammates Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc combining in a special promotional video. Now this comes just a few days after Hamilton's first appearance as a Ferrari driver at the Maranello and his first outing in one of the team's cars at Fiorano, marking the start of a new era for the 7-time world champion. Alongside a packed immersion program that spanned meeting employees, touring factory buildings and spending time in the simulator, Hamilton completed his first marketing duties for the famous Marquis last week. HBO has released the trailer for the much-anticipated Season 3 of The White Lotus on Monday. Now, the new season features new faces and a new location. This time, the vacationers visit a luxury resort in Thailand. The new cast includes Leslie Bibb, Parker Posey, Carrie Coon, Patrick Schwarzenegger, Walton Goggins, and Natasha Rothwell. In the trailer, a hotel employee teases everyone who comes to Thailand, they're either hiding from someone or looking for someone. Season 3 premieres February 16th on HBO and streaming on Max. TLC's new reality series, The Baldwins, takes viewers inside the daily lives of Alec and Hilary Baldwin as they navigate raising their 7 children. Now, the series explores the joys and struggles of family life, highlighting the humor and challenges of raising a large white family while living in public eye. The series highlights funny dinner table moments, candid talks on mental health, and even the love of Baldwin family life. The Baldwins will premiere on the 23rd of February on TLC. Indian designer Rahul Mishra showed a very personal and symbolic space-age collection at the ongoing Paris Fashion Week. Now, a month after the death of his father, the designer found himself looking to Hindu scriptures and an essay about humans' place in the cosmos for his spring collection. Inspired by an essay called Pale Blue Dot, the vision of the human future in space from astronomer Carl Sagan, Mishra considered memories of his family and the meaning of life in a vast universe. Sagan was heard speaking over the soundtrack of the Catwalk show, while models appeared to be beamed onto the catwalk as sparkling structural cape swept along the catwalk. Giambattista Valli presented his latest haute couture collection at the Paris Fashion Week Monday. A sea of stunning gowns streamed down the simple red runner runway, a simple white curtain behind the models as they showcased a large variety of high fashion designs. There was a dress in nearly every color and each one cut different than the last. There were white ball gowns with capes and full skirts, followed by a collection of delicate pink. Pops of bold red and black ball gowns completed the collection. Designer Maria Grazia Chiuri delved into the storied archives of Christian Dior for her latest haute couture collection Monday, exploring the transformations of time. The accomplished Spring 2025 show, one of Chiuri's best in seasons, in fact, drew from the creased silhouettes of Dior's iconic past designers, such as YSL, and infusing them with a distinct contemporary vision. The show was a commentary on how fashion serves as a lens for understanding time. Key inspirations included the trapeze line, originally conceived by Saint Laurent in 1958, and Christian Dior's Cigale silhouette from the 1950s as well, both updated with modern fabrics. Well, that's all we have for you today. Take care and have a wonderful day.
Add light and a touch of style to your home with Luma Lantern from JML. The light and motion-activated solar-powered lantern light. Just peel and stick for easy installation. The built-in solar panel charges it during the day and it automatically switches on at night, then turns off when it's light. Choose from 3 different brightness settings for the perfect hassle-free lighting this winter with Luma Lantern. Only $14.99 from Asda, Argos, Morrisons, Tesco and JMLdirect.com.
because your brain really matters.
February draws, players in one winning postcode will each win £12,000 every month for 12 months. Sign up before midnight on the 31st of January.
We know travel can be confusing, so let us inspire you. Welcome to Qatar. Experience it all. World-class hospitality, diverse landscapes from city to sea, and fly there with the Airline of the Year 2022, Qatar Airways. Book now at travelup.com or call 0207 580 5000. Travel Up, flights, hotels, holidays.
Step into an unforgettable year with a VIP, a very important postcode. Because in People's Postcode Lottery's February draws, players in one winning postcode will each win £12,000 every month for 12 months. Fill your calendar with the things you've always dreamed of. Sign up before midnight on the 31st of January for you and your neighbours' chance to win £12,000 every month for 12 months. Is your door in the draw?
Hi, thanks so much for joining in. You're watching the NDTV network and this is Techspedite. This edition is from India's financial capital, Mumbai.
Techspedite by Games 24/7 was conceptualized with a vision to give a platform of growth to Indian startups solving challenges in the fields of artificial intelligence, gaming, assistive and inclusive technology. With over 350 entries, Techspedite as a startup accelerator program is focused towards giving back to the growing Indian startup ecosystem.
Our hope is that with this program, we are able to kind of offer a launch pad, let's say, or a starting point for a lot of very innovative entrepreneurs out there that are both looking for, capital. Obviously, all entrepreneurs need capital to grow their business, to build their business. But also, I think probably the more important part for us is that, over the course of the last 20 years, this, being a technology business that deploys AI, data science, we think we just have a lot to offer to young entrepreneurs. We've walked that journey.
The event was graced by Shri Deependra Singh Kushwaha, who not only shared his own words of encouragement and enthusiasm for startups, he also shared the government of Maharashtra's vision for digital India's entrepreneurial future.
Startups are the forefront of India's economic transformation, driving our digital revolution. Since 2016, India has become the world's third largest startup ecosystem, thanks to the synergy between the government, industry, startup and innovators and other stakeholders. Under the dynamic leadership of Honorable Chief Minister Shri Devendra Fadnavis, we are thriving to achieve $1 trillion economic goal by 2030, and Mumbai is going to play again the most important role into this